Well, this exhibition is showcasing our project Uist Unearthed. And Uist Unearthed is an augmented reality app that allows users to visualise and engage with some of our hard-to-see archaeological sites in Uist. And this exhibition brings together lots of the assets that we created for that app into an exhibition including virtual reality headsets.
What can people expect to see?
What you can expect to see with this exhibition, we have lots of interactive screens, so you can find out about the 5 key archaeological sites that we're featuring in this project. You can learn about objects that have been discovered at these sites. You can learn about stories from these places, but you can also have a go at using a virtual reality headset, and that will allow you to go back in time effectively and experience being in what we think these buildings would have looked like in the past.
Is this archaeology or is it history?
That's a good question. Well, archaeology is any aspect of the past that we discover and learn about through its material remains. And although we feature some historical sites, for example, Uist, which is actually an Iron Age broch with a medieval site built in the middle of it, although that's a historical site, we're drawing on archaeological knowledge primarily to inform us. So I'd say in that respect it's archaeology. But having said that, we're really multidisciplinary, so we also look to historical documents to further our understanding of these sites and to furnish some of these models that we've made. And we also look to things like Gallic folklore, local knowledge, understanding of landscape to sort of enrich our understanding of these archaeological sites.
How much preparation would have to be done for an exhibition like this?
Well, we started working on this exhibition, the exhibition part specifically, in February of this year. But so in many respects, it's not taken us that long to pull this together, but that's actually because we've created most of the digital assets, by which I mean the virtual reality models, a lot of our animations and audio and those kind of things. They already were created. So the project in itself is now coming up to 3 years, but the exhibition is a 2022 creation.
Only Uist?
At the moment, Uist Unearthed is about Uist, and there's a reason for that. It's partly because we, the archaeology team at UHI out at Hebrides, are based in Uist, but also because we recognise that Uist has some really quite specific challenges with regard to representing and presenting our archaeology. We don't have very many upstanding remains, we don't have a Callanish, we don't have a Carlaway. What we have is lots of amazing buried archaeology. So we were looking to technology as a way to try and get over those challenges, overcome them, and bring archaeology, unearth it, to make it more visible for people. That said, however, this was really about proof of concept, and I think we've proved that this is an engaging way to get people to look at and be interested in archaeology. It's absolutely not just for tourists, although tourists are one of our sort of audiences, but community engagement has been hugely important and central to this project. Not terribly easy to have done community engagement over the last couple of years. That said, I'm really proud of the work that we have done. We've worked with local school in North Uist who've created an animation, a story around Uist, for example. We've done some collaborative work with NMS in Edinburgh, who bought some material from Uist, material from Uist that's actually in the National Museum in Edinburgh, but they brought it to Uist, and we ran some 3D modelling workshops with local community groups. And actually our most important supporters of the project have been local kids who seem to really love it.
Okay, so the main output and technological output of this project is the augmented reality app, which is called Uist Unearthed, and it works like this. And this is just what it looks like. So it's called Uist Unearthed. It's free to download, and it has lots of information there that's going to really reveal and tell you a lot more about Uist's amazing archaeology. And it really came about because we've got loads of amazing archaeological sites. They've been really well researched, but there's very little on the ground. So we've used all the data from decades of excavations to populate and create these really high detail visualizations, 3D digital reconstructions of what these sites might have looked like when they were originally occupied, from the Bronze Age right the way through to the medieval. And when you go into the app, this is what it looks like when you download it, and you go to this map interface. It asks you to explore, and you zoom in, and there's Uist all mapped out. We've also mapped out the Hebridean Way on it, so you can use that, and it's GPS triggered, so you can see your position on the Hebridean Way. And we've marked on lots of different shops, local businesses, heritage hubs, museums, so lots of signposting to other businesses. But also, if you zoom in the way, you'll see that there's these 3 orange markers in South Uist, and it's these ones which trigger augmented reality content. And augmented reality content is augmented reality. It's a technology which allows you to still see your environment. It still lets you see the background and your environment around you, but it then projects a new piece of information onto your environment. And we see this technology a lot nowadays. It's things like Pokemon Go, Snapchat filters. That's what augmented reality is. So you can still see yourself in your landscape, but now also it's projected with a filter. And we've essentially used the same technology, but instead of what we'd usually see on various filters on social media, we've created an archaeology filter. So it puts in front of you this reconstruction of a site, what it might have looked like thousands of years ago, whatever the age is. So what happens is it's location triggered. So when you reach one of the sites that we've enhanced with this treatment, you'll find a post. And on the post is this QR code. So this is actually a QR code, more novel QR code than the ones that we're perhaps used to. And when you've downloaded the app, you scan it and it brings up a reconstruction of the site as it might have looked like. So if you zoom in, and we'll just give you an example. This is Kildonan. Kildonan is an Iron Age wheelhouse, so that's about 2,000 years ago. And when you go into the app, there's this initial piece of information. It tells you a wee bit about the site. You can press this bit of information and it tells you about the place. It tells you about place names, what the archaeologists discovered there, what they found, what does the Iron Age actually mean, why is it important. There's a section on there called Stories. And when you press that, it has people from Uist voices talking about the site and what it means to them in English and Gaelic. So as standard, all of the app and all of our content is bilingual with additional bespoke Gaelic content as well. And there's a section called Time. There's one on Discoveries, where you can just zoom in and find out a little bit more about each of the sites that we've done. And what's really important about this is that, as I said, it's location triggered. So what we want people to do, we want people to come to Uist, we want them to spend time in these landscapes and explore these sites in more detail. And so we want people to just spend a little bit more time here. So you scan this, and instead, it was really developed augmented reality for us to use it, because we've got amazing sites. We're often compared to places like Orkney, where they've got the upstanding remains, the Skara Braes, the Ring of Rodga. We've got amazing archaeology. It's just as important and internationally significant, but a lot of it is buried. It's buried in Macha and it's buried in the moorland, or it's hidden away on lochs. So this is a way of visualising, and these landscapes where you see a few lumps and bumps and you think, I wonder if there's anything there. As archaeologists, we often know that lump or that hump in the Macha is probably an Iron Age site or something like that. But for everyone else, this is just a way now of revealing and unearthing these sites digitally, and very little mark on the landscape. So there's no big physical reconstructions which require a lot of maintenance. This is all digital, and all it requires is a post and one of these QR codes.
And what's caused a buzz today is visiting courtesy of virtual reality.
Yes, absolutely. So the virtual reality is another part of the mixed media exhibition, the multimedia exhibition that we can see behind us, and that's really, it's slightly different. So the augmented reality, obviously you can still see the landscape around you, you can still see your environment, you feel quite secure, you can see the landscape, and you can see what this site might have looked like in its landscape when it was originally occupied. The virtual reality is slightly different because it's fully immersive, and what that means is when you put on that headset, you're enveloped your entire line of sight, your entire house. So it's just a really immersive way of looking at these sites and get that sense of what it might have looked like and how they used that space.